Welcome to the Egg Rocket, where we're not actually in a rocket, as of, right now, so I still call it false advertising.
I mean, we're not in an egg either.
I mean, you pick now to have that sort of problem?
I was just about to say, is the rocket shaped like an egg?
I doubt it. Honestly, that's as ridiculous as that sounds, and considering, oh geez,
Has
that's so
Eggman ever
close.
made a joke about eggs being more aerodynamic?
No, I don't think he's ever made a joke about that.
Yeah.
It's
shame.
weird how he just suddenly took the whole Eggman thing and just rolled with it. There's been no commentary with him about it.
It's branding. He is like a supervillain name. He's not.
Yeah, but he hated it.
Clark Kent. He's Superman.
Remember? He hated it. But for some reason, for some reason, the official, well, okay, in Japan, of course, the official names of these things translated, official names of his machines translated to egg-related stuff. I think it might have been just Japan. I might be wrong, but yeah. So in this, well, not in this, but in Adventure, he specifically goes on about how he's called Robotnik and he doesn't want to be called Eggman. But yet his first robot that he attacks you in that same cutscene with is called the Egg Hornet for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't even have anything to say, honestly. I want to say that it's possible that he liked the name Egg for his machines, but not for himself.
But then he did.
But yeah, maybe he got used to it.
I mean, seems like such a transition to don't you dare call me that ever. You know what? I think I'm gonna name everything I do around it. Just call it the Eggman Empire, all that stuff.
Maybe it's so that he's not in trouble with the cops. He can just say, Egg. It's Eggman did it. I'm Robotnik.
Everyone knows who he is, and yet somehow that's. I'll leave the Sonic Riders commentary to when I actually get Sonic Riders, because I feel like I'll get way too in depth with it if I do. And honestly, when we do Sonic Riders, we're going to need that commentary, considering that we'll be talking over racing for most of the time.
We'll also be talking over racing when you get the new Sonic Racing game.
Ah, yes, that. Well, I'd have to say that Sonic racing games have, well, I won't say been consistently good, but so far, there haven't really been any recent racing games that made me go, you know what, we need another one. Because Sega All-Stars Racing and All-Stars Racing Transformed, to my knowledge, I mean, I've played some of it myself, but to my knowledge, they're good games. They're not really great.
Yeah, I played a bit of Racing Transform, just a demo, but it was nice.
Yeah, so they're good, they're not really great, so I don't feel the hype for it. And I personally enjoyed Sonic Riders. It had a steep learning curve, but it had its own sense of style and everything. Zero Gravity kind of messed with it, and then Sonic Free Riders was a steaming pile. Either way, one of my... Okay, I was just about to go on about that for a bit. That was just totally unfair. This level design is really unfair, and somehow I'm just doing amazingly. Like, not even with save states. I have to bring attention to the fact that it's doing so well.
And it seems to be set up in a way where they want you to get spiked.
And that's just it. That's basically Sonic Advance 2, somewhat. Sonic Advance 2 starts getting that, and then Sonic Advance 3 adopts it as its business motto. Sonic Advance 3, if you're not going to get spiked, you're going to get crushed. Really don't understand how anybody can defend the level design in that game.
Maybe they enjoy the punishment.
Honestly, considering they're Sonic fans, I wouldn't put them past them. Our lives are suffering sometimes.
I mean, there are people who enjoy the opening of Twilight Princess, so.
Oh, you're gonna bring it. Oh man, I almost went through this run flawlessly. Dang it. But you're gonna bring that up immediately. Oh, I mean, I completely agree with you. Possibly less than you'd like because I technically haven't played up to where you are, but you are still
No,
not happy.
the opening is, I'd say, the opening of a Zelda game is up to the first dungeon. And it is
Okay.
unquestionable that Twilight Princess is by far the worst. Except Majora's Mask is a special case where I'd consider the opening to be the first 3 days.
Yeah, that is true. But honestly, I mean, how far have you gotten since that? I mean, you said you were going to the Fire Temple, and did you make any progress?
I beat the Goron Mines, and I'm like, okay, that's simple. I just need to go to Zora's Domain. No, I need to go to some place to go to the town to find out that I'm supposed to go to Lake Hylia. And then when I go to Lake Hylia, I have to jump off a bridge because it's on fire. And I'm
Really?
stuck at the.
No. Go back to that sentence. You have to jump off a bridge because you're frustrated.
No, well, yes. Basically, you're walking, and then goblins light the two ends of the bridge on fire, and you're forced to jump off. But conveniently, because even Midna says it, there's water at the bottom of the bridge. But now you're stuck in that almost empty Lake Hylia, and you have to find your way out. And I still have no idea how close I am to turning back to normal. And I am 12 hours into the game, and I have no idea how close I am to the third temple.
Yeah, I told you, man. You need to play Galaxy to calm your nerves after a while, so that you can assess things objectively. And still probably not like it, but at least you'll be completely objective in your assessment when you come at it with a clear mind.
Yeah, I am glad at least that I don't have to say, oh my gosh, I can't say my Minish Cap's one of the best because I haven't played Twilight Princess and now I just feel so stupid.
But for everybody, their new best is Breath of the Wild, which just makes me want that game even more because here's the thing. Breath of the Wild is my kind of game where you can do basically, like, for example, Just Cause 3 or just the Just Cause series in general, where you're able to do a whole bunch of random crap that's not just like aimlessly, oh, walk here and do this. Just like, no, there's a system to it. The fact that they have so many ways to go about things and enemy patterns and way to get items and everything like that, that you could do ridiculous things to kill enemies. For somebody as experimental with combat as I am in games, that's like heaven.
For me, from what I've seen, Breath of the Wild is universally loved, more so than the previous two Zelda games. But at the same time, I still think Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, they're all in some sort of weird, polarizing, no one likes all three sort of thing. Where they all do something the other one doesn't. And so, like, I know Skyward Sword is super compact rather than spread out, which a lot of people like because Hyrule.
I think I like that.
Ocarina of Time's Hyrule Field is nothing compared to Twilight Princess is. There's like 1,000 sections, and they're all humongous, and they all have nothing in them. So I probably
was
like
warned
Twilight
about
Princess.
that from the beginning.
So I'd probably like Skyward Sword more than Twilight Princess, which makes me not sure what I'll think about Breath of the Wild. It does. Obviously, it's going to be more to do compared to Twilight Princess, but even though Minish
I
Cap
really
has a
think
huge
I'll
map,
have way more to fun.
what I like about Minish Cap's huge map is that there's something in literally every single square. I'm not sure how filled with content the huge map is going to be in Breath of the Wild. There's going to be a lot of content,
I
but I'm not
was
sure how spread
I
out it is.
was I was told that yeah, there are some empty spaces, but the world is so big anyways, that the amount of any empty spaces in all of this is minuscule compared to the amount of things you can find and do, especially with the amount of shrines and such. So they said that yeah, so depending on where you are and how you travel, if you're not using something like the sailor or something like that, or the gravity or whatever that gravity thing that they do is, then you might be walking a while to certain places. But otherwise, or if you do it creatively, then you're going to be speeding along. You might find a settlement and then decide to lay a bomb, light it on fire, just for funsies. Then cook the remains of your enemies for food or something. It's just I from everything I've seen, because I wish that I could have come to you with a more, what's the word, comprehensive knowledge of this. It's just that I don't want to spoil myself, because I'm still, even with Odyssey, even though I know what the ending entails, god damn it, YouTube, and I'm trying my best to keep away from Star Allies, Pro Safia Gaming. Anyways, just I still don't know anything about the story in Breath of the Wild, just at all, other than there's a huge time skip, and that's it. So I want to keep myself out of well, Star Allies just came out, so, but Star Allies also had technically a lot of its important content shown to us in recent trailers, but out of all three, I guess I'd say that I know least thematically about Breath of the Wild. So that would be an adventure, and a further adventure would be me going through, trying out a whole bunch of stuff that I just want to discover by myself. Of course, people have taught me inadvertently certain tricks on how to do things. Like, I watched Video Game Donkey's video on it. I watched some other videos on it, but usually those are just like, hey, look what I can do kind of thing, and barely anything else.
Right. So I'm thinking that basically you're getting a Cliff Notes version of interesting things to do.
Yes.
When you finally get the game yourself.
Right. So that's why I don't, just from the Cliff Notes alone, and I know, and you say, oh, I should know better from judging from what that I've seen, but just from the Cliff Notes alone, I can see, from the Cliff Notes alone and how I prefer gaming in terms of that style, I know that I'm going to have a great time. Especially since the shrines are short but sweet, which is how I like my puzzles. I want them to be taxing, but if they're taxing, then they need to be short but numerous, so I can solve it and be like, that's so great, okay, on to the next one, rather than be into a three-set version of the room where one puzzle leads to another section of the puzzle and then another section of the puzzle, and I'm just sitting there just like, oh man, what did I do this first? Did I do this? I don't, that's why, again, I probably won't. It sucks that that Oracle of Seasons is so elaborate, but at the same time, Oracle of Ages is so hard.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm just like, I enjoy Ages more because of because I'm more of a combat person in essence. But it's so hard, and Seasons was like, okay, this is simpler. I just like it's puzzles. There's so many puzzles and whatever. I just like, okay, fine. Let's go to Link's Awakening then. And then I have to deal with that map, which I just comprehensively cannot critically understand. There's just something wrong with it.
That Link's Awakening map it's hard mode. It's a casual filter, where casuals will play Minish Cap I have to admit, it's not the hardest game. And the DS games, and
despite
then
your performance on the final boss.
oh yeah, well,
Continue.
yeah, but when they go to Link's Awakening, and you have to deal with that map and those
And
dungeons.
not only that, but first off, the last two dungeons, as we both know, crazy. But it has the worst of the Zelda syndrome that I cannot stand. The after dungeon syndrome, where I finally finish a dungeon and then I have absolutely no idea what to do or where to go afterwards.
I think the only game where that's ever happened to me was Link's Awakening, because there's no central place to go back to really. You just keep going after a while, and there are times when you actually do have to go back to town, but it's very subtly mentioned to you. You really have to. This is a real adventure where you have to go and explore and figure out and go and talk with people, and
And
it's
I get it to an extent, but it's just how it's done sometimes, especially with the traversing of the map. How it's done. It's just they somehow made it really, really annoying. Because I'm usually
I
all
do
for
get
this,
it
but
because
not
it's
now.
an old game, so they want to extend the playtime somehow.
Oh well. I I'll complete that game. Well, I probably won't 100% it. I mean, why? But I'll probably finish that game on my own time soon.
It is good.
Dude, end
Meg,
video. And the video's done. The video's done. The video has
okay
been done
then.
for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was wondering. Oh, we're talking a lot, but